Well, there's no date set in stone, right? So the raise order expires October 18th, I believe. But provided certain things can be done, uh, we can work with that and extend that through, mid-November or something if we have to. But the key, and it's outlined in the developer's agreement, is getting things done to prevent any further deterioration, right? That's the key right now. So fixing things like the roof and electrical problems and things like that are going to be the priority. Once that's done, that buys a little bit more time to get the next phase done. So, and a lot of this all hinges, of course, on the fundraising. Now, they mentioned last night that they had about $1 million of their $3.5 million goal raised. Provided that funding comes through, the phase two could start earlier rather than later. But I would think phase two would probably be somewhere around the spring of 2020. And that would involve removing the main structure of the Fox Theater, keeping the facade, bracing that up. We will very likely have scaffolding or something on the sidewalk to make sure that the structures remain solid while the rest of the construction gets completed on the backside. So, provided the money's there, we could see a new use or new life in the Fox Theater sometime in late 2020. So the Fox Theater is iconic, right? But it's and people have very fond memories, and it's my belief that the memories are a lot fonder than reality in some cases. Yeah, it's iconic. It's historic. The front. I mean, when it was the Lyric Theater and the Opera House, people have memories of that. There's photos going back to the early institution here at Stevens Point. Keeping that, I think, is going to help keep those fond memories and that nostalgia alive, but making it a functioning building is going to be really the future of the Fox going forward. Otherwise, it has to come down, and that's unfortunate because it does have some nostalgic value. The really cool thing, though, is being able to keep the facade, put in a new structure behind it, and now you have an economic catalyst. And that's part of the reason that the city's contribution is important, is that while we may not collect taxes on it to help pay that money back, the secondary and tertiary values created from that idea center are going to live on for generations. There are literally hundreds of people that have been helped through the current idea center in their temporary location. And what this will do is, again, it's the catalyst for entrepreneurship, right? People who have business ideas and things like that. There were a few people that spoke last night about that, how they got their start at the idea center. The very idea of saving the Fox came from the idea center. So having those secondary and tertiary values of people starting up businesses and staying in town and growing successfully in town. Maine Grain, for example, said that they would have been bigger and better had the idea center been around when they started. And we heard from a gentleman named Barry last night who uses the 3D printing facility. Other people, and there's a map inside the Create Portage County that shows all of the different areas that have been affected because of our idea center. And it's not just Stevens Point, Central Wisconsin, or even Wisconsin. It is nationwide and sometimes internationally. Still working on constructing the mounting system for the bell.
Okay.
The bell is sitting in a box right now in the streets department. It was cast in Yaroslavl, Russia. And so it has to be custom. So each piece has to kind of be fitted before the next piece can be created.
Sure, yeah.
So they're in the process of fabricating the mounting system. You see the two pillars that are up at Cultural Commons. Across there is going to be a beam to hold the bell, and above that is going to be a cupola-style roof to shelter the bell. So all of that, a lot of that stuff is already done. I know the framing for the roof is done. I think they were waiting on the beam to see how big the mounting brackets have to be